Someone actually went to the Ministry of Defence to look for answers for this. Hello, fellow spooky fanatics! I'm Natalie Unhinged, and I believe Cannock Chase is one of the most spookiest places in England, and I'm going to share with you 5 reasons why. Some are terrifying, and others are kind of hard to believe, but I'm going to leave that up to you to decide. And also, if you stay till the end, I have evidence that suggests at least one of these events are plausible. Welcome to Cannock Chase. Cannock Chase is a historic landscape in Staffordshire, England, with evidence of human activity stretching back to prehistoric times. The area includes Iron Age sites such as Castle Ring. It is not a castle. I was so disappointed when I found out it was not a castle. I love castles. And later became part of the medieval royal hunting forest. Fun fact, the Victorians wanted to be the best era, so they decided that they were going to knock quite a few of the eras before them down, including the medieval times. They said it was a dark age, but it wasn't. And don't even get me started on how they did Egypt. Over the centuries, it developed through forestry, coal mining, military activity, and conservation, leading to its modern status as a protected national landscape, spanning 26 square miles, or 68 square kilometres if you prefer the metric system. Cannock Chase offers plenty of walking trails, a wide variety of wildlife and plant life, and hosts events ranging from 5K trail runs to live concerts. Because you're not here for that. Because you're like me. You like spooky stuff. You like the paranormal, the strange. And that is exactly what we're going to do today. So, without further ado, Cannock Chase has rather strange and paranormal stories attached to it. A dark side, if you would. I came across it myself whilst I was looking for England's version of the Appalachian Mountains, an area in America known for its similar paranormal events. I found many interesting reports such as a black-eyed child, werewolf sightings, UFOs, a hellhound, and a pigman. There were so many more, and they were hard to choose from. So today we are going to divulge into Cannock Chase's strange and paranormal events. The Black-Eyed Child. The story gained national attention in 2014 after a series of reported sightings were investigated and covered by regional and national media. However, some reports suggest that the sightings may stretch back even further. According to ITV News, descriptions of the apparition were said to match reports from the early 1980s, while other accounts claim the legend may have existed even earlier. The exact origins remain unclear. Witnesses typically describe a young girl standing alone in the woods with completely black eyes. Some claim she appears distressed or crying before she suddenly vanishes. Despite numerous reported sightings, no verified photographs or physical evidence have ever been produced. In fact, there was actually a video that alleged that it was the black-eyed child in Cannock Chase, but it turned out to be a hoax. One of the most well-known modern sightings took place in 2022 when a teenage couple were camping on Cannock Chase. They claimed to be woken up by giggling outside their tent and saw a young girl standing among the trees. Doesn't know. No. According to the couple, the figure circled their campsite before disappearing into the woods. When they saw her face, they described her eyes as completely black. The experience left them shaken, and they left shortly afterwards. Yeah. I would too, as that is a nope. That is a row. We do not deal with scary ghost children. And you know what? It's so weird, right? Because children are like these really sweet, innocent humans that just walk around. They're basically like small humans. They walk around and they're innocent and sweet. Yet, if you put them in the context of a forest or a woods at 2 a.m. in the morning and they are giggling, no, they are the most terrifying thing in existence. Whether the black-eyed child is a ghost, an urban legend, a case of mistaken identity, or something else entirely, remains one of the greatest mysteries associated with Cannock Chase. I also found that, like, without going into too much detail, the black-eyed child may be related to the of Cannock Chase that happened between 1965 and 1967. And it was like a case which there were three girls that had been and it set off like a massive wide manhunt and they were found in Cannock Chase. So I would argue that the sightings probably popped up more during the 60s. Maybe though ghosts aren't your thing, maybe they're not something you believe in. But what about physical beings? The Cannock Chase werewolf. Personally, I don't believe werewolves have ever existed because it doesn't actually make sense. Like transforming from human to a werewolf. I mean, you'd have to break every bone in your body. I think that's why I like Vampire Diaries, to be honest, because Vampire Diaries, they have that kind of feature because it makes sense that all your bones would have to like reorganize, all your organs would have to reorganize, you know? It doesn't stop my love for Twilight though. And yes, I was a Jacob stan. Anyway, back to the legend. The Cannock Chase werewolf is one of the area's most famous cryptid legends. Unlike the black-eyed child story, which is usually described as an apparition, the werewolf reports involve a physical creature that witnesses have claimed they have seen moving through the woods. That is terrifying! People often describe a dark, wolf-like animal, a creature standing on two legs, glowing or unusually bright eyes, a tall, muscular figure covered in dark fur. Jacob's back! Quick question as well, right? Just whilst it's on fresh on my mind. You think that in their human forms, the werewolves on Twilight would have some chest hair, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of chest hair, and like, but none of them do. They're all like clean shaven. I just honestly, I think that if they were ever to remake Twilight, they should definitely let the werewolves have some nice hair on them. Not too much, but you know, enough. Something moving unnaturally fast through the trees. Edward, is that you? I'm sorry. I would not be surprised if you clicked off by now. Many sightings occur at dusk, at night, or in poor visibility, which makes it difficult to verify exactly what has been seen. One of the best known reports dates back to the 1970s. A local man named Ted Callahan claimed to have encountered a large wolf-like creature while walking near German military graves on Cannock Chase. According to his account, the creature emerged from the undergrowth and appeared much larger than a normal dog. He later became one of the most frequently cited witnesses in discussions of the Cannock Chase werewolf. Over time, the werewolf became part of a larger collection of Cannock Chase folklore, including the Hednesford hellhound. Another of Cannock Chase's oldest legends is the tale of the hellhound. Witnesses have reported seeing a large black dog roaming the woods, often described as much bigger than an ordinary dog, and sometimes said to have glowing eyes. And I know what you're thinking, well, couldn't this just be the sighting of the werewolf? Like people have seen like a dog just walking around? No. So the hellhound is actually an apparition, like a ghost, and the werewolf is like a physical being, like people have seen that it is physical. Two of the most famous local versions of the legend are known as the Hednesford Hellhound and the not so nicely named Slitting Mill. and form a part of a much older British folklore tradition dating back centuries. And when I was like reading about this, I immediately thought of Sherlock Holmes, the Hound of Baskerville, I think it is. Like, I'm wondering if it's just like being brought to Cannock Chase. But then again, people have apparently seen it, so you could argue that it is something that is possibly there, but you could also argue that it could have been, that people liked Sherlock Holmes's books. Across Britain, black dogs are often considered omens or supernatural guardians, and Cannock Chase has its own place in that tradition. While no evidence has ever been confirmed, the sighting reports became popular enough that paranormal investigators examined the phenomenon during the 1970s. So I wonder, is the hellhound simply folklore? Or is it actually much spookier and there is just a ghost dog walking around, just minding its own business, and people are like, ah, it's a ghost dog? But we're not stopping there. The Pigman. Somewhat lesser known and lesser believed, the Pigman is a humanoid cryptid said to roam around the Pie Green Tower. Here is Pie Green Tower. Oh, oops, here it is. Oh, no, 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 I can't believe I just did it again. Now that's definitely where everyone clicked off. This is actually the Pie Green Tower. I'm so sorry. I saw an opportunity, okay? I saw an opportunity and I took it. Pie Green Tower. You could say that in so many ways. It could be a tower of pies or a mathematical symbol tower of pies. Witnesses have described a tall humanoid figure with pig-like features, often said to lurk the remote areas of the forest before disappearing into the trees. Reports have linked sightings to the area around the old German military cemetery. We're getting a lot of reports around this military cemetery, aren't we? That's like two times it's been mentioned. So I'm not saying that the cemetery is the most haunted, but it sounds like it might be the most haunted. According to one version of the legend, the Pigman's origins date back to World War II. The story claims that secret experiments were carried out in the area, resulting in a human-pig hybrid that escaped into the woods. There is no proof that such experiments ever took place, but the tale has become one of Cannock Chase's most persistent mysteries. Another local story tells of scouts attempting to summon the Pigman during a campfire gathering. According to the legend, something appeared in the woods and chaos followed. I'm sorry, but if I saw a giant humanoid person with a pig for a head, I would run too. You know? It's giving someone that wants to, me. Like many Cannock Chase stories, the details change depending on who's telling it, making it impossible to verify. Unlike the black-eyed child, which had numerous reported sightings, the Pigman survives mainly through local folklore, ghost stories, and tales passed between generations. Before I go on to the last legend connected to Cannock Chase, please give me a like and a subscribe and press the bell icon so that you can be notified of my next video. I'm also looking for real life spooky stories for future videos, so if you have any real encounters, please submit your stories to me. Maybe it's a story about Cannock Chase. I have a form that you can fill in, and I will put the link in the description below, along with my social medias. It's currently only available for people aged 18 plus, but it can be any spooky story of any length, and the grammar does not need to be perfect. Believe me, I struggle with grammar too. I'm looking for stories mostly about like haunted dolls, ghost encounters, shadow people, or cryptid encounters. But it can be anything as long as you think it was scary or creepy or spooky. So remember how in the beginning of the video I told you that there was going to be some evidence that suggests something is plausible? Well, I'm about to go into it. Not every story belongs in Cannock Chase's folklore. Some entered the world from a more realistic standpoint. In 2023, a man named John Conway submitted a Freedom of Information request to the Ministry of Defence, asking for any documents relating to an alleged UFO crash. After searching its records, the MOD responded that it held no information relating to the incident. While that doesn't prove the event never happened, it does mean that no supporting records were found. But I know that some people believe that certain events are covered up. I think this is really cool. Someone actually went to the Ministry of Defence to look for answers for this. So when I was researching UFOs, I came across this request and I took a screenshot of it and I'm going to share it with you right now. If you want to read it all, feel free to pause. So I'm going to put them side by side. I'm going to try and collage them. So we've got a request of information and then we have the response to the request of information. Now let's get into why I'm bringing that evidence up now. UFOs. For decades, visitors have reported seeing unexplained objects in the sky above the forest. Witnesses have described bright lights hovering silently, moving in unusual ways, and unidentified objects appearing before suddenly disappearing. One of the most famous reports came in the 1960s when several people claimed to have seen a large cigar-like shaped object over Cannock Chase. According to witnesses, the object moved silently and appeared unlike any conventional aircraft known at the time. Some accounts go even further, claiming that the object came down in the woodland near Penkridge, leading to rumours that a UFO had crashed or landed. Over the years, the story grew to include reports of strange lights, military activity, and claims that the personnel was sent to recover something from the site, which is why I imagine this John Conway guy decided to ask the Ministry of Defence for reports. I'm sorry, I still find it really cool, I just do. In the years that followed, reports continued to emerge, some witnesses describing triangular craft, while others reported bright spheres of light moving erratically across the night sky. A number of sightings were allegedly witnessed by multiple people at once, helping to cement Cannock Chase's reputation as a UFO hotspot. Paranormal investigator Lee Brickley later collected many of these accounts, with witnesses claiming encounters ranging from mysterious lights to close-up observations of unidentified craft. And this Lee Brickley guy, he not sponsored by the way, he wrote 3 books that you can read about Cannock Chase and its paranormal history and things like that. I'm thinking of getting them myself because I love a good spooky read. Of course, there's always skeptics, and skeptics argue that many of the sightings may have other explanations, including aircraft, military activity, satellites, atmospheric conditions, or misidentified celestial objects such as meteors. However, no single explanation accounts for every report, leaving the mystery open to debate. So, perhaps they were real, or maybe they were misinterpreted. I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Which one do you think is the most plausible? Or which one do you think is the creepiest or the scariest? Let me know.